Hello, welcome, and welcome back. Today I want to do the series that I said I would do last Friday, but I scrapped the idea because I noticed um, I would run out of titles too fast to talk about, so I kind of scrapped that per se. This time I want to talk about Isekai Koushoku Musou Roku, or as it's being translated, Tales of Lustful Warriors, or like Tales of Lewd Warriors, something along those lines. So take it as it is. It is a more mature work. I would say 16 to 18, or along those ages, pretty much. And it's based on a novel which shares almost an identical name. The author for both the novel and manga is Ikuhito, and the artist is Ohana-chan for the manga. Both the novel and web novel and mangas are all sort of mature oriented. Through comments from the people that already finished the novel, I noticed, or at least it was inferred, that it's very fetish heavy. So if you want to read it, which in my opinion is kind of a waste of time, it's like reading soft, soft pornography, I guess. I guess to me it's kind of a waste of time. But anyway, go ahead, if that's your thing. But yeah, it's very fetish heavy. The novel, as far as people mentioned, is way heavier than the manga. So keep that in mind. It sports an average of 20 to 22 pages per chapter, and it's currently sitting on chapter 23 so far. Translated, by the way, I couldn't find Ross for this one. The plot is very simple, though the premise is very straightforward. It's a guy beating off, and he dies while doing so. His floor collapses, and then he's incarnated in another world by a goddess called Adaruto, which means adult. It's a joke with adult, the noun. So he goes to this new world. He talks to the goddess. He's all like, "Yeah, I really wanted to, pop my cherry, etc., etc." And the goddess kind of takes pity on him and sends him to this world with certain powers, a specific power that only he has. He's adopted by a woman, which already has a daughter, and is very gorgeous too, by the way, obviously. Uh, the main character, basically, he wants to have intimate relationships. He just wants to get laid. That's his goal. That's his main thing. Like, he even claims so in the second chapter. For characters, Saul is the protagonist. As already mentioned, he's reincarnated into this new world, and his power is called Rodmaster. By the way, excuse my voice. My nose is clogged, I think, or whatever. But yeah. And yes, his power is related to how excited or horny he is. He can basically attack with a pestle he uses by extending it, hardening it, etc. And he can use his D to heal or detoxify, dispel the other women so far. So far, those are his powers. Maybe he has more things. At least it hasn't been revealed in the manga yet. Kalipa is Sao's sister. More like she was raised with him. She's the daughter of the woman that adopts him, and so she's her legitimate daughter, and Sao's like an adopted son. So yeah, he is like a brother, but not blood related. At least not so far. She's a knight, and she is his first woman. As in the first woman he takes to bed. Yes. Staffu or Staff Ojo is a young girl which Sao and Kalipa are hired to protect. She's like a young noble, and they're both hired to be her bodyguards, pretty much her retainers. She's a healer so far. There's also Moa, a warrior slash Highlander with a toned or strong body. Like she's very pretty. As in, I really like her design. She's like this tanned, strong, dark haired girl with like a really bombshell body, and she's pretty strong too. Seems like obviously she's a warrior. And there's also Moa's master, uh, which is Bloom. She's also an air quotes Ojo, a young lady. She's a noble, and she's a mage. There's more to her, but I'm not gonna get too much into it because otherwise I think I would spoil her backstory onto why she's doing what she's doing. So yeah, read it if you want it and to find out and all those things. She's very different from her novel counterpart. It seems like she has like a smaller breasts, and she's less. Let's say she has a less lewd figure, according to at least according to the novel. However, Moa, Kalipa, the Sao's mother, his teacher, and many other women that appeared in the manga, like they have very lewd bodies. I mean, that's actually a point of view, right? If you like all types of girls, then she also has a lewd body, I guess you could say, which she does. She's actually a very cute character, but I think she's better designed in the novel. She looks even cuter and hotter in the novel. That would be my verdict for her. This manga is basically, in conclusion, it's just expanding his harem. That's the main storyline, I guess you could say. You can ignore pretty much the other elements. It's not deep like Goblin Slayer, Kaiju number 8, all those others that became animes. But the artwork is really good, and the comedy sketches are also really good. Ohana-chan did an amazing job, obviously, drawing all the characters. All of them are really well drawn, whether it's a girl or a dude. Like, the dudes are also all toned and stuff. So, yeah. But, as I mentioned, you should not expect something amazing, some amazing story or deep RPG elements out of it. It's not high fantasy. It's more like a meme, soft itch. It's kind of it. Like World's End Harem. But World's End Harem still tries to sell itself as like serious manga, at least from the premise, which I also think is ridiculous. And I used to read the manga a long time ago. There's even a Fantasia spin-off, which is high fantasy. But yeah, it's not amazing or anything. It's just something that as I mentioned, it's funny. The girls are good looking. The characters are good looking. Like it's worth if you don't have anything else to read, and if you like reading these kinds of works, which I kind of do. I like works where the relationships actually progress and they actually have intimate relationships, like more adult things. Of course, that there are many points that oversell this perspective, I guess you could say, but I still think it's worth checking out if you like these check boxes that I mentioned that this manga feels. And that's it for this one. Thank you all for watching or listening, etc. And I'll see you next time.